Howdy! How is everyone? I'm just gonna drive through the neighborhood. There's something on my glasses. I won't be on a real road and probably won't pass a car to go get gas. And then I gotta go get groceries. So, I've already been on the phone all morning. So I haven't been able to start my video. I still got something on my glasses. But I would like to say that my shorter videos are reaching more people because I've actually had someone comment and say, I haven't seen you in forever. So yay for that. I'm getting out in the world. Of course, when you get out in the world, you meet mean people. But hey, that's okay. I can handle it. You think you the first one that's been mean to me in my life? You think you the last one that's gonna be mean to me in my life? Shoot. You don't know. Alright, so Kim called this morning, and what we discussed is what I'm gonna tell y'all, because I was telling her about it, and she was laughing, so maybe y'all will laugh too. I told her when I was young, I don't even know how we came to this topic, but when me and the neighborhood girls were young, well, maybe it wasn't all neighborhood girls. Maybe it was one neighborhood girl and then just a bunch of my friends who came over. Yeah, that was probably more like what it was. But anyway, we would walk around this neighborhood because I grew up in this neighborhood. And we would walk all over this neighborhood and pick up bottles, because that was back in the day before we had cans. You know, we had glass bottles that people would chunk out, and thankfully not all of them broke. So we would pick them up and we'd walk them up to the Big Star, and the Big Star was our grocery store that was in the neighborhood. It was actually at the beginning of the neighborhood, and I would turn in the glass bottles, and then we could buy a pack of cigarettes as kids. Isn't that the craziest thing? And we would pick up a pack of matches, because you know those were free and everywhere. And then we would walk all the way back to the woods that's up the street from my dad's house, and we would go in the woods and smoke. Like, all of us would smoke one cigarette, choking and, you know, laughing and doing all the things that stupid teenagers do. We weren't teenagers. No, we were preteens. And we would hide that pack of cigarettes in the woods because we were dumb. And the next time we got out to the woods, the cigarettes would be burnt. R-U-R-N-T, burnt. And we couldn't smoke them. Smoke them if you got them. So then I started just, you know, stealing cigarettes. What? Yeah, because I was a kid, and a lot of kids do dumb things. And I would steal a cigarette from my mom. Now, I never wanted to steal a cigarette from my dad because he smoked the cool menthols, don't you know? But I would if he didn't have, or if mom didn't have any, because mom would run out all the time and not go buy more. She would just smoke dad's. So, yeah, that's how I grew up. Stealing cigarettes from my parents and going in the woods to smoke them. And then I'm gonna stop this one here, and I'll come back later, maybe just in a few minutes, but it'll be later for you, and I'll tell you another story of my childhood. Part 2. So the other thing I was telling her about is, I've told y'all this before, when I was a baby, my mom would set me in a little baby pool, and I would go face down in the pool because I love water. I have always loved water, love swimming. So, you know, at first she would panic, but then she was like, okay, apparently she likes this, because I would come back up laughing, and she kind of gave up on trying to pull me up and make me sit up in the pool. And then as I aged, we got a 3-foot, I think it was probably 3 foot, you know, just one of those round pools you set up in the yard. And I told Kim, you know, there'd be 4 or 5 of us girls, and if we were lucky, Todd would come the neighborhood hottie. Even though he didn't live in the neighborhood, his grandparents lived in the neighborhood, and he would sometimes come, and he was adorable. Little short, blonde-headed, I think he had blue eyes, I don't know. He could have had purple eyes for all I remember. But anyway, we would all get in there and start going round and round real fast around the edges of the pool, because it wasn't that big. And we would make like a whirlpool in the center. And then my dad got me an in-ground pool and made payments on an in-ground pool, probably because he didn't have the money to just pay for it. But it was started out 3 feet and went to 8 feet, and we would many a nights spend the night outside in a little pop-up tent and get out in the middle of the night. And sometimes we went skinny dipping, all the girls. Yeah, not Todd, but all the girls. Sometimes we went in naked. I mean, we were young, 10, 11, 12, I don't know. And yeah, we would have stupid parties in the yard in the middle of the night, and we would throw our evidence over the fence like the neighbor behind my dad's house wouldn't tell my dad, wouldn't know where it came from. I remember being in the pool, and she came to the fence and was talking to my parents, and I remember them both turning around and looking at me, and I was like, I suddenly feel very sick, and I think I'm about to die. So I need to get out of the pool and go hide somewhere. Yeah, because a beer can and cigarettes and chicken bones. I don't know where the chicken came from. I mean, I guess Mom cooked it, but Melissa snuck over a beer, and we all drank from that one beer, and we all smoked probably 2 cigarettes between all of us, and we slept in a tent in the backyard. That's how I grew up. And I would climb up on a ladder and get on the roof with Linda, my next door neighbor, and rub baby oil all over ourselves and lay out in the sun on a roof. It's no wonder I have so much skin damage. We were not smart kids, okay? We were not. But we had fun. And we rode our bikes everywhere, all over the neighborhood. So, yeah. And that's the end of part 2. That's it for this one. Okay, part 3. I'm still at the gas station. That was weird. It stopped at 10 gallons, and it would not go any more. And it kept all the buttons, everything was blinking, flashing. I was like, did I even get gas? Because I wanted to put some more in, and it wouldn't let me put any more in. But the whole while it kept saying pumping, like it was pumping, but it wasn't pumping, it was stopped. And I mean, it filled my car mostly up, you know, but I don't know, 332 miles to empty, and it'll usually go on up to a little more than that. But yeah, I don't know, that was weird. But when I hung the hook back up, that's not what it's called, gas handle, sure. When I hung that back up, it stopped all the flashing, and it said, do you want a receipt? I was like, well, I guess I got gas. I don't know. But I got in the car and I got gas. So, I don't know. That was weird. I spent a whole minute and a half talking about gas. My third and final childhood story. I may have told this one before, but it's a doozy. Because, well, it's probably the most scared I've ever been in my life. But Linda and I were sleeping, I believe, in her camper. By this point, we had, you know, upgraded to camper status instead of tent status, because her parents had a camper, a little pop-up in the backyard. Hello, neighbor. And he still got his skeleton standing out. We snuck out in the middle of the night, because, again, we were angelic, perfect kids who never did anything wrong. And we walked from my dad's house, well, she lived right next door Sorry, Linda, if you don't want me to tell this story, but they don't know which Linda you are. What? I only have one friend named Linda, I think. Anyway, we walked all the way over here from all the way over there. It's not that far. But my parents were supposed to be in Texas, okay? Supposed to be in Texas. Because my dad, being the police officer that he was, he had this part-time job. He had a gazillion part-time jobs, okay? But he had this one part-time job that I would love to have. Love to have it. Hello, insurance company, call me if I can take my dog. But he would fly to a city, wherever, and he would be picked up by the police department, and he would be given the keys to a car that had been reported stolen, and insurance companies were paying him to fly out there and drive the car back, of course on the drivable cars, right? So they flew to Texas, and I was staying with Linda, okay? And imagine my surprise when we're standing way over there talking to these boys in the middle of the night, and this 60 model Chevrolet Impala with the wings turns the corner, and that cop's arm sitting out with a cigarette hanging off his finger, rolls up the slowest of any car that has ever rolled up and said, "You better beat me home." And then he slowly started rolling off. I've never ran so fast in my life. Ever. I'm getting out on the road, so I was so bothered by what happened at the gas pump that I left the cap off and the door open. That's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, I love you. Jesus loves you. Hope he's coming back soon, because people be crazy. And I will talk to you on the next Tracy Tries. Toodles, my noodles. Stay silly, my friends, and smile. Piss people off, make people happy, or just make them wonder what you've been up to. Goodbye.